You ever have one of those days or maybe one of those weeks where you just feel stuck? Like you're just going through the motions, but you're not really there? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down a really simple but honestly powerful method to check in with yourself and find a clear path forward. So let me ask you a question. It's probably the most common question there is, but I want you to actually take a second and think about it. How are you feeling really? Not just good or I'm fine. What's actually going on in there right now? The truth is, most of the time, our answer is just a reflex. Good. You? It's not a real answer at all. It's more like a social password, right? It's just the thing you say to get the conversation rolling. We hardly ever pause to consider the real answer for ourselves. And this is what happens. We end up just coasting. We're on autopilot, moving through our day without really thinking about what we're doing, or why we're even doing it, or, how we feel about any of it. And that's the very thing that can leave us feeling so disconnected and, well, stuck. But here's the good news. Breaking that cycle, it doesn't have to be some big, complicated thing. There's actually a super straightforward 3-step method that you can use literally anytime, anywhere, to reconnect with your inner world. Let's introduce you to the PAT method. It's a really easy acronym to remember. Pause, acknowledge, and transform. We're going to walk through each one of these step by step and see exactly how they work together. All right, first up, the P in PAT stands for pause, and this is all about just creating an intentional moment of quiet in our lives, which, let's be honest, are usually pretty noisy and fast-paced. I love this metaphor because it just nails the problem, doesn't it? I mean, think about it. Your to-do list, your phone notifications, all your worries, they're all shouting for your attention all day long. Pausing is how you turn down that volume so you can actually hear those quieter, much more important signals from inside. So how do we actually do it? Here's a super practical technique. It's just a simple centering breath. You breathe in slowly for 4 seconds, hold it for 4, and then breathe out slowly for 6. Seriously, just doing that 3 to 5 times can calm your whole nervous system down and give you the mental space you need for the next step. Okay, so once you've created that little pocket of quiet, what's next? Well, that brings us to A, acknowledge. This is where we look inward and just name what's there. And we start to see our feelings as valuable information. This is such a critical idea. It is so easy to judge ourselves for feeling angry or sad or anxious, like it's some kind of personal failing. But it's not. A feeling isn't a sin, it's a signal. It's just trying to tell you something. The dashboard analogy is just perfect for this. Think about it. Anxiety might be your check engine light, telling you that you're totally overwhelmed. Sadness could be the low fuel light, letting you know it's time to process a loss and find some comfort. You wouldn't just put tape over a warning light in your car, right? No. You'd figure out what's wrong. We gotta do the same thing for our feelings. The skill we're really building here is self-awareness. It's simply the ability to recognize what you're feeling and see how it's affecting you. And this isn't just some fluffy concept. It's a core part of what we call emotional intelligence, or EQ, which is absolutely critical for everything from your relationships to your career. And get this, there's real science behind this. The simple act of putting a name to what you're feeling, psychologists have a term for it, affect labeling, has actually been shown to lower its intensity. Just by saying, okay, I feel disappointed, or wow, I feel anxious, you literally dial down that emotion's power over you. How cool is that? So, we've paused, we've acknowledged what's going on. Now for the final and maybe most important step, T for transform. This is where we take that awareness and turn it into real, actual action that helps us grow. It's one thing to know you're feeling anxious, but what do you do about it? Well, lucky for us, research gives us some pretty clear clues. A study that looked at self-care strategies among college students identified which ones people use the most and which ones they feel are the most effective. And when you look at the data, the most common strategies are things we can all do. At the top of the list, 80% of students used exercise, 75% spent time with friends and family, and a really big number, 65%, used journaling. Now, all 3 of those are fantastic, but we're going to zero in on journaling for a minute. And why? Because it's so accessible, it's private, and it's an incredibly effective way to process all those emotions you've just taken the time to acknowledge. And this is a really powerful real-world example right from that study. A participant took this photo of a book they were reading to help with their social anxiety. It's a perfect illustration of how self-help tools, whether it's reading or writing, can be a direct response to a specific feeling you've identified. And if you're still wondering if this stuff actually works, listen to this number. A staggering 92% of the students in that study said these self-care strategies had a positive impact on their mental health. That is a massive endorsement. It proves these small, actionable steps really, really work. And to help you get started, like right now, here are some simple but really powerful journaling prompts. You don't have to answer them all, just pick one. Even just finishing the sentence, right now, the main feeling in my heart is blank, because is a fantastic way to practice naming that feeling and figuring out the why behind it. So, where does a simple practice like this fit in the grand scheme of things? Well, it's a key piece of a much bigger puzzle, our overall well-being. Using the PAT method isn't just about getting through a bad day. It's about actively taking part in your own wellness journey. You know, when we talk about wellness, it's not just one single thing. This chart shows a few of the key dimensions, like our emotional, physical, and social health. And the thing is, they're all connected. The PAT method is a direct tool for our emotional wellness. And yeah, it's just one piece of the puzzle, but it's a foundational piece. When you're more in tune with your emotions, it has a ripple effect. It can improve your relationships, your physical health, even your financial decisions, because you're less stressed and more clear-headed. So we'll leave you with this thought. You now have a simple framework. Pause, acknowledge, transform. You have the tools. The only question left is, what's the first signal, the first feeling that you're going to really truly listen to?